The metaverse has been called many things. A joke, the biggest disruption to human life. A dystopian nightmare, a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. An overhyped buzzword. After Facebook changed the company name to Meta and announced its metaverse strategy, many people mocked the idea. At the same time, the field still has great prospects for brands and individuals. So today, we want to be your guide to this next big thing. Watch this video if you have heard a lot about the metaverse, but feel like only people with IT degrees can understand the concept. If you want to learn about how it's going to revolutionize medicine, music, government services, and other areas of our life. If you're wondering where to find metaverse-related jobs as a creator, and why you should invest in conversational advertising as a brand. If you want to get expert advice from someone who has been researching the topic for over 30 years.
Yeah, so I got involved in the metaverse actually in 1991 when I was a graduate student at Stanford, and I was lucky enough to get a research job at NASA working in their early virtual reality lab.
Before we begin, consider subscribing to our channel to not miss any upcoming videos on creativity, marketing, and culture. Let's start with what the metaverse actually is. One way to describe it is as a 3D version of the internet. This explanation is easier understood when put into time perspective. As venture capitalist Matthew Ball wrote, when the internet and computing first emerged, all interactions were primarily text-based. Think emails, messages, usernames, email addresses. Then they slowly became more media-based. You might even be able to recall when photos, videos, and live streams started taking over the stage. The next logical step is the elevation of our user interface into 3D. There is a shared interactive virtual space where you can act as an avatar, as well as consume content and services in three-dimensional spaces, buy digital assets, and interact with other people. The second way the metaverse is described is as an integrated network of virtual worlds. Cybersecurity expert Ibrahim Bagili uses the Apple App Store for comparison. If you need to accomplish a certain task, these are various apps to be downloaded. The same way in relation to the metaverse. There are many companies and platforms offering their digital experiences. Some of the examples include Decentraland, Axie Infinity, Horizon Worlds, Sandbox, Fortnite, Second Life, and Roblox. However, at this stage, there isn't a single so-called metaverse app store, meaning there is no one and only portal to access the metaverse. Speaking of access, the most obvious way you can enter digital worlds is through a virtual reality headset. But that's not the only option. If the metaverse was only open to owners of VR headsets, it would limit opportunities and the amount of users. So, many experts argue that we'll be entering the digital world via a smartphone, tablet, or computer. It obviously decreases the level of immersiveness, but also makes the barrier for entry lower.
To be quite frank, we talk a lot about augmented reality and virtual reality in recent years, but, well, people don't use it. We don't download the standalone apps. We don't use AR much for education. We don't watch shows and music videos or whatever in virtual reality. And the reason is we don't have required devices. On the opposite, the only part of AR that developed really well and that we use a lot is social AR. Filters in Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, and the reason is it's a part of everyday life. Everyone has these apps, and it's just comfortable for us to use it. It's a part of our daily routine. What VR and AR need for the development is some common device that everyone will have, and that will eliminate this gap that we have between comfort of user and actual user experience.
Even though the metaverse is often associated with virtual reality, some people believe a key factor for the popularity lies in the hands of augmented reality. This version of the metaverse won't be a brand new digital world, rather, a way to digitally enhance the physical one.
10 years from now, we will start to see augmented reality glasses becoming as popular, if not more popular, than a mobile phone for accessing all kinds of content, all of the digital information that we access in today's world. So for a developer, you can really think about how can you take today's flat media and make it natural and intuitive information that's just displayed in our world the way humans are supposed to interact with information.
In any case, one thing to remember is that the metaverse isn't limited to a specific technology. It is rather an interconnection of many, such as VR, AR, blockchain, NFT, and others. Now, it has become somewhat of a tradition on this channel to not leave you without a list of useful links about a topic. For example, our most popular video so far offers a list of 8 Instagram accounts to follow the latest meme trends. Let's do something similar in relation to virtual worlds. Welcome to the Metaverse and Hello Metaverse podcasts are the perfect place to start if you want to stay ahead of the industry news and listen to the brightest minds in the field. The Metaverse Resources website is an assistant to those who want to research the topic fundamentally. You'll find a billion insightful resources gathered in one place. The Metaverse Primer is a series of essays by an already mentioned venture capitalist, Matthew Ball, who explores the role of networking, payments, and content in virtual worlds, as well as talks about how exactly the metaverse is likely to grow. Metaverse Jobs is a website where you can look for openings for engineers, designers, creators, and others. By the way, very often, visuals speak clearer and louder than words. So, if you want to use metaverse-related images and videos in your projects, there is a ready-made collection of trending visuals at Deposit Photos. Moving on to the most interesting part. How do you position yourself for the metaverse, present and future as a brand and as a creative? This is where we need to break a popular misconception about the topic. Many people assume the metaverse is just a fun, cartoonish game, a pointless way of spending your time, or a 3D version of a social network where you meet new people. They become your best friends for 3 hours, and then you never see each other again. But the metaverse is going to be far more serious than that, expanding to economy, real estate, art, and much more. Focusing on business categories and use cases, let's talk about a few areas that hold the highest potential and will be demanded by the audience. Spoiler alert, number 5 and 6 impressed us the most. The first example is everyday necessities, like shopping, communication, and healthcare. Experts say the metaverse will offer numerous opportunities, from buying digital clothes to hosting parties and getting married through avatars. Secondly, education. This may be unexpected as the metaverse is usually associated with entertainment, but it's argued that studying will be the best case use. The idea of virtual education needs a lot of development, to say the least. However, think about it this way if you are skeptical. Compared to schooling over Zoom, 3D-based education can be far more engaging and interesting. Thirdly, music. The pandemic reinforced the rise of virtual concerts, but they will be relevant in any case. After all, virtual pop stars like Hatsune Miku have been selling out online concert venues for many years now. On a side note, if you are curious about virtual influencers, we have a separate video on the topic. Anyway, the metaverse erases the bounds of the physical world, so there is no limit to how many people can attend an event, where it can be held, and how many times the environment can be changed during a concert. Some examples of past virtual concerts include The Weeknd performing Blinded by the Lights as a TikTok experience, and Ariana Grande's performance taking place in Fortnite for as long as 7 days. Fourthly, sports. A number of companies in the industry are building virtual stadiums so that fans can enjoy games as immersive digital experiences. And now to our favorite use cases. Let's imagine the metaverse for government services. Last year, Seoul announced a plan to make a variety of public services and cultural events available in the virtual space, whereas previously they could only be addressed by physically going to their city hall. The South Korean capital will develop its own metaverse platform that will host a virtual mayor's office, a fintech incubator, a public investment organization, and spaces serving the business sector. The intention is to make public city services accessible, regardless of geography or one's disability. Moving on to an example of the metaverse making us superhuman.
I was at a conference a month ago where we spent a lot of time. It was a medical conference talking about how already with augmented reality glasses, there are prototype systems where surgeons can access CAT scans and MRIs and literally see into a patient's body, look into their body and see the trauma or the disease that is captured by a CAT scan in the exact location where it is on their body, because these augmented reality glasses are basically giving people X-ray vision. It's giving people these superhuman capabilities that's being experienced right now by surgeons and other high-end applications, but that will migrate down to the general public over the next 10 years.
And last but not least, the metaverse provides brands with a new medium to communicate with the audience creatively. For example, last year, our team at Deposit Photos organized Social Media Week Kiev. A key element of its virtual manifesto was an avatar created by artist Huntrez Janos. The creative alien appeared in the AR filter online and on augmented reality clothing. And while visuals have a huge role in the metaverse, the power of avatars expands far more than that.
My view is that conversational advertising will become the primary form of advertising within, let's say, 10 years from now. In the metaverse, there will be AI-controlled avatars that engage people in conversational advertising, which means that it, rather than just informing you about a product or a service, it will engage you in a conversation. It will ask you questions, you will respond. It will be using large language models to appear like an authentic person in terms of how it interacts, but it will engage you in conversation to learn in real time what your interests are and to respond in ways that a human salesperson would respond.
So far, we've talked about brands, but what if you are an individual creator? Virtual worlds allow you to make digital goods in 3D programs like Unity or Magic of Voxel, and then exhibit them in virtual art galleries for anyone to buy. Also, you can work for the companies interested in taking their position in the metaverse. For example, Nike indicated its intent to create and sell virtual sneakers and apparel, posting openings like Virtual Material Designer of Footwear. If you are interested in making art at the intersection of creativity and technology, here's a couple of projects and people worth paying attention to. Crypto Voxels is a metaverse popular with art galleries and museums. Users can buy real estate and build their own spaces. Snow Cash is an exhibition tracing the origins and culture of NFTs and the metaverse. It will be inaugurated in October of this year, taking place both in a physical space and multiple metaverses. Speaking of names to follow, Anika Meyer is one of the metaverse's most important curators. She is a Kunstforum columnist, art historian, and expert on digital art and NFTs. Another person that comes to mind is Thomas Webb. While other artists display their work in existing virtual art galleries, he decided to set a more ambitious goal and create a metaverse of his own. Wow! To sum everything up, it will take some time for a puzzle of the metaverse to be put together, and there are reasons for both hope and doubt along the way. The process of establishing the metaverse will be far from easy. One of the major challenges is fragmentation, meaning the lack of a single metaverse ecosystem, resulting in poorer navigation between different virtual worlds. There is also the need for interoperability, or simply put, an answer to how to transfer a virtual item from one platform to another when they are operated by different industry players. Obviously, there is the issue of the accessibility of hardware. Next thing to add is safety and prevention of sexual harassment in virtual spaces. And as if this list wasn't already long, there is a simple word that describes a not-so-simple discussion of whether we'll actually need the metaverse and be ready to spend time there in the future. That is the question. Another thing to consider are the dangers of virtual worlds.
if you consider that, today's social media, the platforms are able to track where you click, who your friends are, maybe what you buy. That's invasive and dangerous, but in the metaverse, these same platform providers will be able to track what you do, where you go, who you're with, what direction you're looking, how long your gaze lingers. And so to protect consumers, we should have regulations in place that prevent metaverse platforms from storing this information over time and from profiling people based on their behaviors over time. And so the privacy concerns are one side of it. The other side of it is that in today's social media, what these platforms currently do is they use these profiles to then target you with advertising. They target you based on your behaviors and your interests, and they do that on behalf of paying advertisers. So in the metaverse, instead of flat advertisements, there will be virtual product placements. Basically, products and services and activities that are just injected into your world. If you're in a virtual world or an augmented world, you might just see a car drive by that you think is just a serendipitous part of the world and not know that a third party injected that into the world for you to see. Because you can't tell the difference between authentic experiences and these targeted virtual experiences that were placed there for you to encounter. And so to protect consumers, there should be regulations that require these targeted product placements to look different than other experiences.
However, there are many reasons to believe the metaverse dream will be successful and bring us a lot of benefits. What's amazing about these new digital worlds is that they establish a creator economy and empower people to develop their own spaces and goods. The metaverse, combining creativity and experiential technology, can potentially bring revolution to the art world. Usually storage, location, authenticity, and accessibility are barriers to experiencing or owning fine art. However, the transparency, decentralization, and flexibility that the metaverse provides helps ease these issues. Another point to note relates to social anxiety. Virtual platforms allow us to meet people without the overwhelming triggers of the real world. This may just be amazing. Thank you for spending your time with us. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you more excited or concerned about the metaverse? Why so? We're saying our goodbyes for now, but if you want to see us again, just click the subscribe button. And as always, stay creative. See you.